Hello my friends, welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When people lack self-awareness, then they might say things, they say things without even thinking that they are doing the same thing, maybe even worse. Or they don't even think about the implications of their statements. In this case, we have this really below 86 IQ people in control of Ukraine. I say people, and these are the elected officials. I don't know who comes with this kind of ideas and tells the Rada, the legislative body of Ukraine, but they don't think one step ahead. They think the first one, but what are the implications, my boy? What about that? What about that? Let me read you what's going on here, and then we can discuss. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from Wednesday, 19th of October 2022. Verkhovna Rada wants to recognize Belarus as an occupied territory. Okay, all right, let's see. Maybe they have a point, okay? So members of the Rada, Ukrainian parliament, want to put to a vote their resolution to recognize Belarus as a country temporarily occupied by Russia. So, European Pravda, referring to a report by the press services of the Belarusian Kastus Kalinoutsky regiment following the results of the meeting with the members of the Rada. During the meeting, the representatives of the regiment discussed the issue of Belarusian-Ukrainian relations under the conditions of Russian aggression with the members of the Rada, right? Okay. And I'm quoting, the Ukrainian side paid respect to Belarusians who are fighting for Ukraine with weapons in their arms and expressed their desire to cooperate with the regiment, which acts as a legal representative of the people of Belarus. Okay, really? Following the results of the meeting, the members of the Rada of Ukraine promised to propose changes to a decree about the citizens of Belarus to the cabinet of ministers. The members of the Rada decided to put their resolution to recognize Belarus as a territory temporarily occupied by Russia to a vote. The two sides made an agreement regarding ongoing cooperation concerning aspects blah 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 blah. Okay, well, let's try to see it. Okay, there's a president. This guy say that this president is not the legitimate president. Well, if you go like that, neither is Zelensky, because he was not voted by the entire Ukraine, was not voted by the Russians in the eastern territories of Ukraine, which now belong to Russia. So if you take it like that, technically he's illegitimate. And he's not only illegitimate by that, judging by that, you can go back and back 2014, and those guys who overthrew the legitimate democratically elected government in 2014, the Yanukovych government, with the help of outside forces. Well, let's put them, differently departments if you want. Then those are called actually traitors. In any country, if it would happen here in the United States and Chinese would support some people here doing what those guys did in Ukraine, they would be called, these guys would be called terrorists, and would be called traitors. So okay, that's illegitimate if you go by those standards. Now, good or bad, that guy is in charge, as is Maduro, which is another illegitimate because he's not their guy. If he's not their guy, Guaido, there's nobody else. The same here. If there's not that woman who's outside of Belarus, who is the one they want to be in charge, because they like democracy when they win. When they lose or some other country gets someone, cut the line, oh my God, no, that's unfair. Only we can cut the line. So, okay, they have Russian army, and that's the big idea that that country is under the Russian occupation. Okay, well, can you think of at least one other country that is under occupation since, I'm going to give you a clue, 1945? I know at least two. That's Germany and Japan. Okay? Remember, Japan to this Germany, I'm talking about Germany because Germany to this day has about 70,000 American troops on its territory and nuclear weapons, American nuclear weapons on its territory. Why is that not under the American occupation? Remember, the Russians and the Belarusians, they said, yeah, you can come here, yeah, we're going to have a joint force. Over there in Germany, it was not like that. They remained there to make sure that Germany will not follow its destiny, not do something that we don't like. Okay, got that. But then, why didn't you go away? Because they begged you to stay because of the Soviet threat? Yeah, okay. So, where is it? Besides, after 1945, Germany was not free. It had free elections, but certain parties were not allowed to participate, remember? Then how is that government that was formed after that, won the elections, how is that government legitimate? The communists won all the elections in their countries. Why? Because they were the only party there. Everybody, all other parties were forbidden, were illegal. So, was that legitimate over there? No, it was not legitimate. I'm just talking about Germany. And now they still have troops over there. It is not under occupation. Look at Germany's foreign policy. Is it independent? No. Look what they did with Nord Stream 2. Look what they did with the sanctions. They did it because they wanted? No, they shot themselves in the foot because the masters who occupy their country still told them to. And you talk about that, and you talk about Putin and whatever, Lukashenko, right? I mean, a little bit of, self-awareness here, Ukraine, because if you judge Belarus and you say, okay, this is the way Belarus is, you have something very close that is similar. And besides, what do you think you will be like after this thing ends? Let's say it ends right now the way it is right now. Bam, stops right there. Nobody moves. What do you think is going to happen next? Whose troops you going to accept on the inside of your country to defend you from the big bad bear? The United States. Then why would you be different than Lukashenko, allowing others to come on your territory? Why? You know why? Because you're the good dude and they're the bad dudes. End of story. Now let's go and drink a glass of wine. Aren't we smart? No. So, but that's the way these guys think. How can you talk with someone? And remember, these are in charge of a nation. They play with a nation's future, with its traditions, with its history. It's okay. As the West said, we're going to fight until the last Ukrainian. Yeah, because it's not you dying, it's them. And it seems like you don't really care. But for the, for the defense of freedom and all that. I give you this little scenario. I hope it never happens. When there will be no more Ukrainian to fight in Ukraine, do you think that these guys are going to bring their boys to fight Russia? Or all of a sudden they will find a negotiating, common denominator, negotiating issue they can talk about? They will stop everything there and say, now let's negotiate. Do you think they're going to fight with their boys against the Russian boys? I don't think so. Unless they will have some crazy auxiliaries. But they will not. Because it's going to hurt them personally. And they don't want to do that. They use these guys as a buffer. And the United States is far away. So yeah, they might ask the Germans to go to war for them. Because otherwise the Russians will. And we're going to support you like we supported Ukraine. Do you see the outcome? No more Ukrainian. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.